Hello everyone, this is part 12 of What If Naruto Was the Child of the Moon in Percy Jackson, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Everyone's spirits were low. They had yet another attack in the camp they called their home. Apollo's kids tried to get everyone's spirits up, but to no avail. The bonfire reflected the camp's mood. On a good night, the fire could reach 20 feet high, was purple in color, and it was so hot that the marshmallows on the front row burst into flames, but not tonight. At this particular night, the flames were only 5 feet high and were the color of lint. So, there they were sitting on a semicircle of stone steps, singing half-heartedly, and watching the bonfire blaze. They sang the usual songs they sang, Down by the Aegean, I am my own great-great-great-great-grandpa, and, This is Minas Land. When the songs were done, Tantalus said, well, that was lovely. He came forwards holding a toasted marshmallow on a stick and tried to casually pull it off. Before he could touch his food, the gooey concoction of sweetness flew off the stick. He made a wild grab for it, but it dive-bombed into the flames. Instead of feeling down, he smiled coldly. Now then, some announcements about tomorrow's schedule. Sir, Percy spoke up. Tantalus's eye twitched. Our kitchen boy has something to say. Shut up, cannibal. Naruto scolded. This is important, so you better listen too. You better watch your mouth, Tantalus challenged. Even if you did win the chariot match, or do you want him to know about that? Naruto balled his fists. I thought so, Foxy, Tantalus smirked. So what do you want to say, kitchen boy? Mr. D sighed. What I'd give for some pinochle with Chiron. The flames turned bright yellow, signifying the crowd's interest was piqued. We have reason to believe that one of our satyrs, Grover Underwood, has found the golden fleece, Percy announced. It can save camp. Percy blurted out his and Naruto's shared dream, empathy link message. Annabeth stepped up to remind the camp of what it could be. Naruto was right behind them, his knuckles white from the pressure. The satyrs serving Mr. D and those sitting on the sides' ears perked up and looked towards the son of Poseidon. Grover did. No way. That's so cool. Those were only some of the murmurs that could be heard from them. Nonsense. Tantalus shot him down. The camp doesn't need saving. Everybody stared at him until he got uncomfortable. Besides, he quickly added, if that goat really did find the fleece, why won't he bring it here? Because he got captured, Percy stated. The satyrs gasped in shock. So you kids want to go and rescue your friend and get the fleece, huh? Tantalus smirked. The Sea of Monsters is hardly an exact location. How would you know where to look? 30, 31, 75, 12, Percy said. They're the coordinates. Annabeth explained further, 30 degrees, 31 minutes north, 75 degrees, 12 minutes west. That'd be somewhere in the Atlantic, off the coast of Florida. We need a quest. Okay, you guys know where to go. Big deal. It still isn't Nice. You. This time Naruto snapped. He charged forward, grabbing Tantalus by the scruff of his shirt. If you were really doing your job, you would know that the camp needs saving or are busy chasing donuts to notice. Oh, the QB brat is getting angry. Tantalus taunted. What are you going to do? Unleash you prisoner on me. Naruto growled. This time his voice sounded like two people were talking in one body. You don't know the half of it. He raised Tantalus a few inches off the ground. Naruto. Annabeth called out, calming the boy. Naruto let go of Tantalus, causing him to fall on his butt. He looked at the crowd. There was fear on the faces of the other campers. Tantalus smirked. So, you've finally shown your true colors. What was that? Beckendorf asked. This is the cue. Shut up, you dumb excuse for an activities director. Naruto snapped. Are you going to continue hiding it from him, Fox boy? Tantalus asked. Katie Gardiner from the Demeter cabin spoke up. If it's a danger to camp, we deserve to know. Naruto sighed. If you guys have to know, it's better for you to hear it from me than from this freak. The smirk on Tantalus' face faded. The lands where I came from aren't as monster-free as you think. In a way, our monsters are a lot worse than the ones we have here. We have these massive concentrations of chakra that take on the form of animals so large that they are as high as the New York skyscrapers. Images could be seen of the flames. 9 rampaging beasts were shown causing so much mayhem and destruction. The nations, in an effort to gain power over the other, tried make weapons out of these beasts. My home village was no different. My village had the 9-tailed fox. The images focused on the fox with 9 tails attacking the village. But how did they make weapons out of the beasts if they were as big as you say? Someone in the crowd asked. By sealing them into humans. They were called Jinchuriki, or in this world's tongue, power of a human sacrifice. The crowd gasped. 14 years ago, the fox was somehow released into the village. Saying it caused havoc was an understatement. Many shinobi died trying to defend the village. The flames gained a scary shade of purple. My dad, the 4th Hokage, faced the beast head-on by himself, but not without costing his own life. Before died, he decided to seal the fox into another human to subdue it, but he couldn't ask just anyone to be the sacrifice. In the end, he decided to seal it inside of his own son. So, who did he seal it into? One of Hermes' children asked. It's obviously him. Get on the same page. One of Athena's kids answered for the blonde. I understand if you will hate me from now on, Naruto continued. I won't hold it against you. The fate of a Jinchuriki does entail fear and hatred. Now, you know what I am. It was nice hanging out with you guys. Well, Tantalus tried to get in the last word. Who here says we make this monster useful? There was silence. I take that as a yes, he said. I assign a quest to the demon fox boy, and I shall assign one of you to accompany him, and make sure he does not betray the camp. Fine, do what you want, Naruto relented. Whoever this child eater chooses, meet me at the big house. The blonde walked out after that. Okay, you heard the monster, Tantalus turned to the crowd. Who here wants to accompany that thing on the quest? Percy volunteered, we'll go. No way, Clarice complained. You had your chance, Summer. Yeah. The Ares cabin shouted at the son of Poseidon. Perhaps, you are volunteering, Musla-ru? Tantalus asked. Me. She answered with a question. Yeah. Show that Jackson kid how it's done. Her siblings encouraged. Wait a minute, the dream came to me. Percy tried to protest. He was quickly shot down by one of Clarice's siblings. You just want to be in the spotlight again. Yeah. Another one agreed. Sit down. Clarice gained the confidence to speak up. I shall accompany Naruto on the quest. At the big house. Here goes nothing, Naruto mumbled to himself. He pulled down the stairs that led to the attic and climbed up. I'm gonna kill that water boy later, he thought to himself. Why didn't he warn me about this? The attic was filled with memoirs of Greek heroes of the past. There were armor stands covered in cobwebs, rusted shields that were once bright bronze, old leather streamer pants plastered with stickers saying ITHAKA, Circe's Island, and Land of the Amazons. One long table was filled with preserved parts of monsters, claws, eyes, a giant snakehead, a full set of shark teeth, you name it. On one side of the room was hung a pink scarf that looked familiar. It was one of the newer displays in the attic. There was a tag attached to it. Scarf of Aphrodite. Recovered at Waterland, Denver, Colorado. By Percy Jackson and Annabeth Chase. Naruto hummed, those two brought it home, huh. After reminiscing on their first quest together, the blonde decided to leave the scarf alone, and continue on to the oracle. It wasn't hard to find the oracle. Percy had described it to them last year, but Naruto wasn't prepared for what happened next. By the window, there was a mummified human female body sitting on a wooden stool. She was wearing a tie-dyed sundress, lots of beaded necklaces on her neck, and a headband over her long black hair. The skin on her face was thin and leathery over her skull, and her eyes were glassy white slits. As soon as it got sight of Naruto, her marble eyes lit in green light. Her mouth opened, pouring thick green mist that coiled into thick tendrils hissing like 20,000 snakes. Inside the blonde's head, there was a voice speaking, I am the spirit of Delphi, speaker of the prophecies of Phoebus Apollo, slayer of the mighty Python. Approach, seeker, and ask. Naruto released a breath he didn't know he was holding. He had acquired a phobia for snakes ever since Orochimaru hijacked their Chunin exams not so long ago. What is my destiny? He managed. The smoke curled even more thickly, collecting in front of him. Suddenly, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the late third Hokage, appeared right in front of him. His eyes were glowing green and the smoke from his pipe swirled more green mist. You shall sail the iron ship with warriors of bone. The mist swirled beside the blonde, revealing his old teammates. Sakura grabbed his shoulder, making him look at her. Then, she opened her mouth. Into the grasp of death, you shall be thrown. Sasuke spoke behind him. He turned to look at him. Aid shall arrive from those of your own. Kakashi walked and knelt in front of him. But one of the crew will be entombed in stone. The images vanished and were replaced by Grover's image. Only united will you find what you seek. But only one may succeed. The image of his satyr friend retreated to the mouth of the mummy. After that, her mouth shut tightly as if it didn't open his mouth before. The blonde was stunned. He understood why his friend had to hide parts of the prophecy. Grasps of death, huh? He said to himself. He decided to push that in the back of his mind. He knew that prophecies had double meanings. He will have to cross that bridge when he gets there. He descended the building. As he requested, Claris was waiting for the quest leader to get his prophecy. What did you call me for? Claris inquired. Just you, huh? Naruto said. I thought a quest normally had 3. You know Tantalus, Claris shrugged. He doesn't play by our rules. Now quit stalling, what did you call me for? Pack your bags. We're leaving tonight, Naruto said as he started walking. What? Why? Can't this wait till tomorrow? The sooner we head out, the sooner we can save the camp. Alright then. Naruto was a little ways away from her when she called out. Hey, Blondie. Yeah. Naruto turned to look at her. You don't want to face them, do you? Naruto looked down. Give them time, Claris said. The blonde looked up with a smile on his face, and then he nodded. Deep underwater, somewhere beneath the ocean, in the depths beyond Poseidon's sphere of influence, there lay a giant cavern. In that cavern, 4 giant rock pillars jutted from the ocean floor. In the center of the underground cavern, there was a massive humanoid figure wrapped in celestial bronze chains. A hooded figure approached the monster. The figure swam up to the chain holding the humanoid monster's hand. She then slashed the chain with a sword. The chain withstood the strike, glowing with green energy, the color of the sea. She frowned. She swam a few feet back, then pointed her sword at the chain. The blade hummed with energy. A beam of pure energy fired from the tip of the sword, which fired onto the chain, causing an explosion. The humanoid monster's eyes snapped open. Its hands tensed and started to tug at the chains. The cracked one gave way, freeing the monster's hand. The monster let out a massive roar that shook the entire cavern. Its free hand easily crushed the chains holding its tentacles. Once free, they moved to tug at the chains holding its other limbs. In time, the large humanoid monster was able to break free. It rammed itself into the cavern wall. The cavern crumbled from the force. Nearby, an Atlantean soldier was swimming by, patrolling the area. The dolphin's eyes widened when it saw the rubble. Getting concerned, it swam towards the wreckage, but a look of horror flashed over on its face. There was nothing left in the cavern but a huge crater. Camp Half-Blood. Naruto was waiting near the hearth of the camp. He wore his flak jacket today and his headband was tied. Seeing the people he once loved spout the words of the prophecy to him made him reminisce about home. To add to that, he was thinking about how the other campers felt about him. Suddenly, a little girl walked out of the flames. Something on your mind? The little girl asked. Oh hey, Lady Hestia. Naruto greeted. Just thinking about my home. Which one? Hestia giggled. Both maybe, Naruto answered. The oracle showed me, my old friends. And with the new ones now. You told them already. Naruto nodded. I see. As your partner had said, the camp just needs time to process all of this after your outburst. They're probably afraid of me now. They will be at first, but they will understand. After all, you demigods are seen as problems in society, although not as bad as your situation. Thank you, Lady Hestia. I needed that. No problem. I see you're going on a quest. Oh yes, we're on a quest to save the camp. Hey, ninja boy, Claris called from behind the two. The two turned towards the daughter of Ares. Oh, Lady Hestia, she apologized when she saw who Naruto was with. Forgive me for interrupting you. Please go back to your conversation. No, it's okay. I'm just seeing Naruto off. He's my champion after all. Hestia said. Now, go and save the camp. I wish you luck, Hestia added, and then she walked into the flames and disappeared. Champion of the Hearth, huh? Claris asked. What's that about? Didn't I tell you guys yet? Naruto answered with his own question. Clarice shook her head. Oh. Well, that's not important, right now. Are we all set? Naruto said. As ready as we'll ever be. So, how'll we get to the Sea of Monsters? The prophecy said we'll sail an iron ship. How will we get an iron ship? Maybe, my dad could help. Let's go. The two made their way to the beach. The blonde still doubted how the daughter of Ares would provide a ship. So how will we summon an iron ship? Naruto asked. Just be quiet and wait, Blondie. Clarice scolded. There was some grumbling from the blonde, something about being ADHD and Clarice being a barker, or something like that. The daughter of war ignored the blonde. Instead, she closed her eyes and prayed to her father. Just then, the water bubbled and a large ironclad warship suddenly rose. Whoa, how did you do that? Naruto asked. I just prayed to my dad for assistance. The spirits of the losing side of war owe my dad a tribute. That's their curse for being defeated. So here we are, Clarice explained. But couldn't he give us something from World War II at least? Just be grateful, Naruto said. It's probably cause I'm here. He still must be pissed from the last time we had the scuffle. Oh right, that, oh well, at least we got something. One of the Confederate soldiers, the one that looked to be the captain, approached the duo. Madam Clarice and Sir Naruto, welcome to our ship. We shall be your crew. Let's go. Clarice called his friend. Naruto looked back at the camp. What are you waiting for, Blondie? Your girlfriend. The blonde's face turned red. Shush, she's not my. Yeah. It's not like it's obvious to the whole camp. Just hurry up and board. She'll be fine as long as she won't do anything stupid. You're right. Coming. Answer. The party from camp boarded the ship called the CSS Birmingham. The captain showed them around the ship. They were shown the bunker, the boilers and engine which didn't look too good, the pilot house, the powder magazine, and the gunnery deck which Clarice immediately took a liking to. Finally, they were taken to the room so that they can rest for the night as the ship chugged to their destination. Line break. As the crew of the CSS Birmingham rested for the night, the blonde ninja in the group had another dream from his dear friend. Naruto dreamed of the cave. It was the same cave that he had dreamt of all those days ago. A satyr wearing a soiled wedding dress sat on a loom, madly unraveling the threads of the unfinished bridal train. It was Grover. Honeybee. The monster shouted from behind the boulder covering the entrance. Grover yelped and began weaving the threads back together. The room shook as the boulder was pushed aside. Looming in the doorway was a Cyclops that must have been 15 feet tall. He was so tall that he dwarfed their friend Tyson in comparison. He had jagged yellow teeth and gnarled hands as big as a human. He was wearing a faded purple t-shirt with the words World Sheep Expo 2001 plastered on it. His enormous milky eye was scarred and webbed with cataracts. What are you doing? The monster demanded. Oh, nothing, Grover said in a falsetto voice. Just weaving my bridal set, as you can see. The Cyclops palmed the walls of the room trying to find his way to the loom in the middle of the room. He felt at the cloth. It hasn't gotten any longer. Nonsense, dearest. I have added at least an inch. Too many delays. The monster bellowed. Then he sniffed the air. You smell good. Like goats. Oh. Grover forced a weak giggle. Do you like it? It's odor shaver. I wore it just for you. The Cyclops bared his pointed teeth. Good enough to eat. Oh. You're such a flirt. No more delays. But dear, I'm not done. Tomorrow. No. 10 more days. 5. Oh. Well, 7 then. If you insist. 7. That is less than 5, right? Certainly. Oh yes. The monster grumbled, still not happy with his deal, but he left Grover to his weaving and rolled the boulder back into place. Grover closed his eyes and took a shaky breath, trying to calm his nerves. Hurry, Percy, Naruto, he muttered. Please. Then, the dream changed. It was night time. Naruto saw a young Annabeth looking for her friends. She was cowering in a corner, her dagger was in hand. She's a cute little kid. Naruto thought. He approached the little girl. Hey kid, what's wrong? I don't know, she managed. A voice came in from inside the warehouse close to them. It was eerily the voice of Mr. Chase, Annabeth's dad. Something tells me that's not your dad, huh? Naruto said. All Annabeth could do was nod. Stay here, okay, I'll come back for you. Naruto told the little Annabeth. Naruto raised his right hand in a half-ram seal, and he disappeared, startling the girl. Then, entered the warehouse skulking around like nobody was there. Inside the warehouse, aside from the container vans and other junk, he saw a Cyclops looking for something. Further inside, there was a huge cauldron of boiling soup. Right above it, there were 3 kids tied by a rope. Come on out, Annabeth. Let's go home together. The Cyclops called out. Naruto took out a kunai and sighed. That's a pretty good skill for Cyclops, he said to himself. But, I gotta kill ya. Come on, oh. A celestial bronze kunai sprouted from the Cyclops' abdomen. The monster crumbled into golden dust. You can come out now. Naruto called out. The scared little Annabeth came out of her hiding spot. Is it over? She croaked. Yep. Naruto grinned. Let's get him down. The next day, Naruto woke up with a start. He heard Clarice knocking at the door. Yo, ninja boy. Breakfast's ready at the mess hall if you're hungry. I'll be right there, he replied. Naruto got up from the bed and went to freshen up. He made it to the mess hall to find Clarice munching on some bacon and eggs. He decided to dig in. It was no ramen, but he still had to eat. After breakfast, they were on the deck. The blonde was bored as hell waiting to get to their destination. Are we there yet? Naruto asked. Obviously, not yet, Blondie, Clarice answered. I'll hit you if you keep asking that. But can you blame me, though? I mean, we're demigods. Naruto reasoned. Yeah, even so, go find something to do. Clarice ordered. But there's nothing to do. I know. Our fight on your first day at camp. Is that a challenge? Yeah. This time no using that clone thing. Fine. Come at me. Clarice dropped what she was holding and charged the blonde, aiming a punch at his head. It was easily blocked by the blonde. Naruto twisted his body, aiming a kick to the daughter of Ares' head. She ducked the kick and headbutted the blonde's midsection. He was able to twist in the air back upright and he landed on his knee. Nice dodge, Naruto praised. I'm just getting started, Clarice smirked. Clarice rushed the blonde. Naruto easily sidestepped another of Clarice's punch and he aimed one of his own on her midsection. The daughter of Ares grunted from the hit. Not giving her time to recover, the blonde sent a jab of his own aimed at the girl. The girl was disoriented, but she managed to send a punch to the blonde's chest. Naruto caught her arm and flipped her. She landed flat on her back. Clarice tried to get up, but Naruto flipped to sit on her Annabeth to subdue her. The blonde's fist was mere inches from her face. They were like that for a few seconds. Then, Clarice's face flushed. Why you can get off of me now, Blondie. Naruto realized what was happening and he flushed too. Sorry. He apologized. He promptly stood up, his face was still red. Not one word of this, Blondie, Clarice warned. Especially not in front of your girlfriend. I told she's not. Naruto was about to protest, but his senses opened up, registering a monster nearby. Hold that thought, he paused. Prep your weapons. Clarice grinned. Monsters. The blonde nodded. The daughter of war ran towards the gunnery deck. They were near a swampy area. A little farther, they could hear some fighting. Fire. A familiar voice said. We need fire. Is that who I think it is? Naruto muttered. Oh gods, please don't make it be them. No hitting my friends. Another familiar voice shouted. Captain. Head over, in that direction. Naruto pointed to the direction of where he heard the fighting and yelling. Line break. Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson inched backward, slowly avoiding acid splashes and deflecting the heads. Then, a strange sound, a chug chug chug, permeated the surroundings. Everything shook. What's that noise? Annabeth asked. Steam engine. Tyson answered. What? Percy shouted through the noise. From the river behind them, Clarice shouted. There. Prepare the 32-pounder. The 3 didn't dare look away from their enemy. The too close, milady. A gravelly male voice said. Damn those idiots. Clarice said. Full steam ahead. I'll get them. Naruto shouted. Right. Clarice nodded. Fire at will, Captain. Aye. Get down. Naruto warned. Naruto. The 3 demigods shouted as they saw the blonde. You. Instead of being happy to see them, Naruto got mad. What are you 3 doing here? We'll talk about this later. His voice softened a bit. Naruto raced through his hand signs and placed his hands to the ground. The earth hardened around them and a domed wall formed. There was an earth-shattering boom echoing from the river and a flash of light on the Hydra's body. The monster exploded, spraying its guts all over. The ship sailed closer to them. Hey war girl. Naruto called out to her partner. Guess who I found? Losers, Clarice sneered. You are so dead. The earth crumbled from an earthen shell revealing 3 teenagers and a Cyclops. They were greeted by Clarice, Naruto's partner on the quest. She decided to let the 3 stowaways board their ship, not out of the goodness of her heart, but because the blonde talked her into it. The Confederates took a liking to Percy and Annabeth as soon as they boarded. They liked Annabeth because she told them that she was from Virginia, and they liked Percy because he had the same last name as the Southern general. Although, he had to ruin for himself when he said he was from New York. So that's the ship, Clarice said, finishing the ship tour that the captain had taken Naruto and Clarice. Mr. D's going to turn you into a dolphin when we get back. A chill ran up Percy and Annabeth's spine. Tyson didn't really understand what the daughter of Ares said. But we just wanted to. Boink. Ow. Percy and Annabeth complained. What did you hit us for? Percy asked. Should I spell it out for you, Percy? Naruto asked with sarcasm. But, don't you guys trust me enough to bring Grover back? We do, but, I'm sure Chiron told you to stay at camp to train. What if you fight Luke again? Percy and Annabeth looked at each other. Let me guess. You had to fight him. Annabeth decided to speak up. Actually, we managed to escape. Naruto turned to the daughter of Athena. And you must chase, why didn't you stop him? You know that Water Boy didn't think this through. Well, we all know that Percy's too hard-headed to listen. Hey, Percy protested. Naruto sighed. I suppose you're right. That's why I'm here, to keep him out of trouble. I did promise Chiron after all. Naruto turned back to Percy. You haven't met my sensei, yet you keep his most important lesson to heart. What's that? Percy asked. Whoever breaks the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. Percy and Annabeth smiled. He sounds like a good teacher, Annabeth said. Oh, he was terrible, Naruto explained. I still remember all those times he made us wait for 1 hour before he arrives. Kinda like Percy then, Annabeth commented. Why me again? Percy protested. The 2 blondes laughed, while the son of Poseidon frowned. After a round of hearty laughter, Naruto shrugged. Well, you're here now. I suppose you can join the quest. What? Clarice complained. We do need the help, Clarice. A quest needs 3, ya know. Naruto explained. You do want the quest to succeed, right? Fine. The daughter of Ares relented. Thank you, Naruto. Annabeth wrapped Naruto in a hug, earning snickers from Clarice. The 2 heard this and they glared at her. Their cheeks may or may not have been blushing. They wouldn't admit it. Fireball, Tyson said, breaking them from their staring contest. What did you say, big guy? Percy asked. There, big fireball. Heading this way. The big guy pointed out. Everyone looked in that direction. At first, they thought it was a comet, but when it got closer, the 4 of them were able to make out a chariot. Riding a chariot was one familiar face. The chariot landed, or crashed depending on how you make it out, in the water next to the ship. The chariot floated on the surface of the water like it was weightless or it somehow had chakra. Soon enough, the owner of the chariot was right in front of them. Brats, he greeted the crew with the only way he knew how. Father, Clarice greeted with a bow. To what do we owe this visit? Percy instinctively grabbed his pen, but he couldn't uncap it for some reason. Percy, stand down, Naruto ordered. The son of Poseidon growled, you're lucky I can't uncap my pen. Didn't it occur that it was cause of me, why you use your little toy, Ares taunted. Percy glared at him. You should listen to your quest leader, Ares continued. At least he's being reasonable. Percy still didn't look happy. Relax, brat. I'm not here to fight. I'm just here to talk to her, Ares pointed to his daughter. Clarice, come with me. As soon as Clarice and Ares disappeared somewhere below deck, Percy's stomach growled. We should have eaten those donuts when we had the chance, he said. But a monster made them, and you still want to eat them? Annabeth asked. What are we talking about? Naruto asked. I told Tyson to buy some jelly donuts in the middle of nowhere, but he somehow found some, Percy explained. Turns out, there was a Hydra close to our hideout, Annabeth added. Gee, what are the odds? Naruto said. So you guys hungry? Mess hall of the ship. Normally, Percy would have qualms about accepting food from the undead, but he was too hungry to dig into the details. Clarice joined them after a few minutes. She dug into her food half-heartedly. The talk with her father must have bothered her. So what did you talk about with your dad? Percy asked. It's none of your business, Prissy. Clarice snapped. Geez, what's your problem? The son of Poseidon commented. It was quiet for a second, but Annabeth decided to talk about what they encountered. So, Luke's on board a ship full of monsters, and there's this golden sarcophagus there. She explained. I can make a good guess about what's inside, Naruto said. Annabeth nodded. He also has the coordinates of the fleece somehow and he's headed there right now. Good. Then I can blast their little boat to Kingdom Come. Clarice finally said. Glad to have you back, Naruto said. Clarice huffed at the blonde boy. Show them their rooms as soon as they're done, Clarice ordered one of the soldiers as soon as she was done eating. The soldier nodded. Where are you going? Naruto asked. I'm going to train, Clarice answered and left immediately. I wonder what's wrong with her, Percy wondered out loud. She seemed pretty shaken up. Her dad must be putting a lot of pressure on her. After all, we humiliated him back then. So, just try to understand her. Naruto said. Naruto, how about you? Are you okay? Annabeth asked with worry. What do you mean? Of course, I'm fine. Naruto shrugged her off. You had to tell the whole camp about your secret. That must have been hard. Percy added. Naruto's face faltered. Oh yeah, that's not important now. Annabeth placed a hand on the other blonde's shoulders. Naruto. I'll be okay. Thanks for worrying, Naruto said. So, now, you guys must be tired. After they finished their food, one of the Confederate soldiers showed them to their rooms. Each of them got to share a room of their own, though Tyson didn't want to sleep by himself because he was scared of the undead soldiers. Tyson joined Percy in his room. Naruto lay down on his bed. He decided he might as well go back to sleep since there was nothing else to do. As soon as he fell asleep, Grover visited his dreams again. Grover was sitting at his loom, desperately unraveling his wedding train, when the boulder door rolled aside and the Cyclops bellowed, "Aha!" Grover yelped. Dear, I didn't, you were so quiet. Unraveling. Polyphemus roared. So that's the problem. Oh. No. I wasn't. Come. Polyphemus grabbed Grover around the waist and half carried, half dragged him through the tunnels of the cave. The satyr struggled to keep his high heels on his hooves. His veil kept tilting on his head, threatening to come off. The Cyclops pulled him into a warehouse-sized cavern decorated with sheep junk. There were a wool-covered La-Z-Boy recliner and a wool-covered television set, crude bookshelves loaded with sheep collectibles, coffee mugs shaped like sheep faces, plaster figurines of sheep board games, and picture books and action figures. The floor was littered with piles of sheep bones, and other bones that didn't look exactly like sheep. They must have been the bones of satyrs who'd come to the island looking for Pan. The Cyclops set Grover down only long enough to move another huge boulder. Daylight streamed into the cave, and Grover whimpered with longing. Fresh air. The Cyclops dragged him outside to a hilltop overlooking the most beautiful island the demigods who were dreaming had ever seen. It was shaped kind of like a saddle cut in half by an axe. There were lush green hills on both sides and a wide valley in the middle, split by a deep chasm that was spanned by a rope bridge. Beautiful streams rolled to the edge of the canyon and dropped off in rainbow-colored waterfalls. Parrots fluttered in the trees. Pink and purple flowers bloomed on the bushes. Hundreds of sheep grazed in the meadows, their wool glinting strangely like copper and silver coins. And at the center of the island, right next to the rope bridge, was an enormous twisted oak tree with something glittering in its lowest bough. It was the Golden Fleece. Even though Naruto was dreaming, he could definitely feel the power of the fleece working its magic on the island. He figured that the satyrs would be able to smell the magic much more strongly. Grover whimpered again. Yes, Polyphemus said proudly. See over there. Fleece is the prize of my collection. Stole it from heroes long ago, and ever since, free food. Satyrs come from all over the world, like moths to flame. Satyrs good eating. And now. Polyphemus scooped up a wicked set of bronze shears. Grover yelped, but Polyphemus just picked up the nearest sheep like it was a stuffed animal and shaved off its wool. He handed a fluffy mass of it to Grover. Put that on the spinning wheel. He said proudly. Magic. Cannot be unraveled. Oh. Well. Poor honeybee. Polyphemus grinned. Bad weaver. Ha ha. Not to worry. That thread will solve problem. Finish wedding train by tomorrow. Isn't that thoughtful of you? He. But, dear, Grover gulped, what if someone were to rescue I mean to attack this island. Grover looked straight at Naruto and Percy, who were watching the events unfold. What would keep them from marching right up here to your cave? Wifey scared. So cute. Not to worry. Polyphemus has state-of-the-art security system. Have to get through my pets. Pets. Grover looked across the island, but there was nothing to see except sheep grazing peacefully in the meadows. And then, Polyphemus growled, they would have to get through me. He pounded his fist against the nearest rock, which cracked and split in half. Now, come, he shouted. Back to the cave. Grover looked about ready to cry, so close to freedom, but so hopelessly far. Tears welled in his eyes as the boulder door rolled shut, sealing him once again in the stinky torchlit dankness of the Cyclops' cave. A sleeping puppy in the corner woke up to the boulder rolling back in place. Grover sat dejectedly on the wall close to the loom. The puppy went close to him to comfort him. I'm okay, girl. Grover tried to be strong. They will come for us anytime soon. Naruto woke up to bells ringing. All hands on deck. Find Sir Naruto. Where is he? The captain's gravelly voice echoed through the corridors. Just then, a shrill, girly scream was heard through the whole ship. What are you doing in my room? Percy's cracking voice could be heard screaming. Naruto got up from his bed and opened the door to his room. Ah, you're here, Sir Naruto, the captain greeted. He was about to knock when the blonde opened the door. What was that all about, Captain? Naruto asked. You mean the screaming? The captain replied, earning a nod from the blonde. He did not take kindly to me waking him up. I must have startled him. Naruto laughed out loud for a few seconds. I'll never let him forget that, he said in between laughs. Anyway, he finally said. You were looking for me. We are approaching the entrance to the Sea of Monsters, sir. The captain replied. Your friends are already above. Naruto nodded. Let's go. On deck. The sky was overcast. The air was hazy and humid, like the steam from an iron. Clarus was looking through the binoculars he had gotten from one of the soldiers. Tyson had a worried look on his face. Too much strain on the pistons, the Cyclops muttered. Not meant for deep water. Naruto joined them shortly after. We'll have to make do, Naruto told the young Cyclops. We don't have a choice. What took you so long? Annabeth asked. Dream about Grover, Naruto answered. We're running out of time, Percy added. Grover is getting married tomorrow. Everyone nodded. After a few more minutes, the dark splotches ahead of us came into focus. To the north, a huge mass of rock rose out of the sea, an island with cliffs at least 100 feet tall. About half a mile south of that, the other patch of darkness was a storm brewing. The sky and sea boiled together in a roaring mass. Something tells me that's not a hurricane. Annabeth voiced her thoughts. Clarus shook her head. That's Charybdis. Annabeth paled. The one who sucks in the oceans in the stories? Percy asked. The very same, Naruto answered. Wasn't there two of them? The son of Poseidon asked again. The other one's Scylla. It was Annabeth who answered this time. She lives in the caves underwater. Why don't we just go around? Percy suggested. The sea is wide open. Don't you know anything? Clarus rolled her eyes. You have to go through them. She's right, Percy, Naruto added. Even if we did go around them, they would just reappear in front of us. So which one are we going through? Percy inquired. Clarus had an evil smile on her face. We're going through Charybdis, Captain. Aye, milady. We're already on it. The captain gave his affirmative. Wait, Percy protested. If we have to go through one of them, why not go through Scylla? Clarus shook her head. If we get to close, her snaky heads will appear and start plucking us one by one. Then, we hide below deck. Percy looked proud of himself. Naruto sighed. That wouldn't work either. If she can't grab her easy food, she'll pick up the whole ship. Then we leave your clone things above deck. Percy still looked proud. Nope. The clones will disappear once she bites down. She won't have her meat either way. Dang. Percy was crestfallen. I thought I had a good idea. We go through Charybdis and that's final. Clarus said with finality. Captain, arm the cannons. I'm a lady. Little did the demigods know, there was another monster lurking underwater. Somewhere in the wilderness, a young girl held her bow in her hands as she checked the ground for tracks. It was Artemis, and she was on one of her hunting missions. Just then, she sensed something out of the blue. This feeling. What's wrong, milady? Zoe, her lieutenant asked. I sense one of the oldest sea monsters in the hunt. It's back, Artemis explained. Zoe's eyes widened. You mean, it has escaped? Artemis nodded. I have to go and report this at once. Zoe, you're in charge while I'm gone. Mount Olympus. Artemis appeared in the throne room to see only the king of the gods in the throne room. Lord Zeus, Artemis greeted. What is it, Artemis? The king of the gods asked. I have sensed one of the great sea monsters has broken free of its chains, Artemis explained. Poseidon appeared next to Zeus sitting on his throne. Brother, Poseidon said, I'm sure you have sensed by now. Yes, Zeus nodded. But how? He was in your jurisdiction, and yet it had escaped. The culprit had snuck in right under our noses. Nobody had sensed him enter the premises of his prison. It's like he was masked by an ancient power. The god of the sea explained. Let me go and hunt it. Artemis presented. No, you shall do such thing, Zeus said. But why? Artemis asked. We must get rid of this monster before it becomes a problem for us. By now, the monster is at the entrance to the Sea of Monsters, Poseidon explained. Approaching the entrance is a ship filled with demigods. The party from Camp Half-Blood. Artemis said. Aboard the ship is. She turned to Zeus. All the more reason for me to go. No, you know the ancient rules. We must not interfere with the lives of the demigods. Zeus said with finality. Artemis growled. Fine. I just hope you will get through this, my son. Sea of Monsters. The CSS Birmingham drew ever closer to the Charybdis. The sound of the monster got louder and louder. It sounded like a horrible wet roar, like the galaxy's biggest toilet being flushed. Every time she inhaled, the ship shuddered and lurched forward. Every time she exhaled, the ship rose in the water and was buffeted by 10-foot waves. Percy, can you control the water? Naruto asked the son of Poseidon. Percy closed his eyes and tried to concentrate. A frown appeared on his face. The water didn't respond. I can't, he said. Too much interference. I can't focus properly. We need a backup plan, Annabeth said. This isn't going to work. Behind the ship, a silhouette 3 times as large as the ship swam by. Percy and Naruto perked up, sensing the newcomer. Annabeth noticed the change in expression of the two. What is it? She asked. There's one more, Percy answered. Something big, Naruto added. What are you idiots talking about? Clarice asked. She was answered by a loud roar from the back of the boat. The sheer volume of the roar made the ship shudder. The silhouette had risen from the water. A humanoid monster was behind them. It was a large monster, easily as tall as the New York skyscrapers. It was standing on 2 legs which carried a muscular frame covered in large scales. Behind it, there were long and large tentacles easily big enough to pluck ships out of the water. The demigod's eyes widened as soon as they saw the third monster. What is that thing? Percy asked. It's that thing from that movie, Naruto asked. What was it again? The others gave him quick odd looks. That doesn't matter right now. Annabeth yelled. We're boxed in. The monster sent its tentacles at the back of the ship and started tugging. Cut those things off, Clarice ordered. The demigods scrambled at the Daughter of War's command. Each of them chose a tentacle for themselves and began slashing at it with their weapons. That managed to release the hold that the monster had on their vessel. The problem is that it made it mad. The monster started moving towards the ship. We can't spare any more cannons for that thing. Clarice shouted. We won't get them ready in time. Heads up, Percy warned. It's coming. Take care of the Charybdis, Naruto ordered his friends. No, Naruto. Annabeth tried to stop him. We're doing this together. We don't have a choice, smart girl, Clarice said. We'll have our hands full with them. Clarice stuck a thumb back to point at the 2 monsters guarding the entrance to the Sea of Monsters. Annie, I have to, Naruto explained. We might not survive if I don't hold the other one off. Naruto walked forward to jump off the ship. Man, those sound like famous last words, Percy commented, which didn't help Annabeth's mood. Naruto, don't you dare. The giant monster was closing in, so Naruto prepared his attack. Cage Bunshin no Justu. The shinobi yelled. Each of the clones rammed themselves onto the monster. With the proper chakra burst as the clones hit, each hit felt like a truck. They actually managed to push the monster back. The remaining clones fired all the weapons they can at the huge monster. There were kunai with explosive tags, shuriken, and bow and arrows. The other clones drew kunai in hand and charged at the monster, slashing and hacking at the monster's tough hide. Back at the ship, the other demigods were sailing through Charybdis whirlpool. The ship lurched forward, throwing the passengers to the deck. Full reverse. Clarice screamed over the noise. The sea churned around them, waves crashing over the deck. The iron plating was now so hot it steamed. The dead Confederates rushed back and forth. The propeller ground into reverse, trying to slow the descent of the ship, but it was no use. The ship continued to slide to the center of the vortex. Well, get down there and fix it. Can't. The sailor yelled. We're vaporizing in the heat. Clarice pounded the side of the casemate. All I need is a few more minutes. Just enough to get in range. We're going in too fast, the captain said grimly. Prepare yourself for death. No. Tyson bellowed. I can fix it. Clarice looked at him incredulously. You. He's a Cyclops, Annabeth said. He's immune to fire. And he knows mechanics. Go. Yelled Clarice. Tyson, no. Percy grabbed his hand. It's too dangerous. He patted Percy's hand. Only way, brother. His expression was full of determination and confidence. I will fix it. Be right back. As Tyson followed the smoldering sailor down the hatch, Charybdis decided to show herself. She appeared only a few hundred yards away, through a swirl of mist and smoke and water. There was a reef, a black crag of coral with a fig tree clinging to the top. All around it, water curved into a funnel, like light around a black hole. Anchored to the reef just below the waterline was an enormous mouth with slimy lips and mossy teeth the size of rowboats. And worse, the teeth had braces, bands of corroded scummy metal with pieces of fish and driftwood and floating garbage stuck between them. Charybdis was an orthodontist's nightmare. She was nothing but a huge black maw with bad teeth alignment. The entire sea around her was sucked into the void, sharks, schools of fish, a giant squid. Lady Clarice, the captain shouted. Starboard and forward guns are in range. Fire. Clarice ordered. 3 rounds were blasted into the monster's maw. One blew off the edge of an incisor. Another disappeared into her gullet. The third hit one of Charybdis' retaining bands and shot back at the ship, snapping the Ares flag off its pole. Again. Clarice ordered. The gunners reloaded. Everything seemed hopeless. The cannons weren't doing much damage to Charybdis. They'd have to fire more rounds at the living, breathing gullet, but they didn't have the luxury of time. Then, the vibrations in the deck changed. The hum of the engine got stronger and steadier. The ship shuddered and the ship started pulling away from the mouth. Tyson had given the ship just enough juice to keep the ship away from the mouth. Tyson did it. Annabeth said. Wait. Clarice said. We need to stay close. We'll die. Percy screamed. We have to move away. Suddenly, Charybdis snapped her mouth shut. The sea died to absolute calm. Water washed over the monster. Then, just as quickly as it had closed, the mouth exploded open, spitting out a wall of water, ejecting everything inedible, including the cannonballs, one of which slammed into the side of the CSS Birmingham with a ding. The ship was thrown backward. Percy concentrated hard enough to keep the ship from capsizing, but it was no use. The ship spun out of control close to the cliffs opposite the strait. Another smoldering sailor burst out of the hold. He stumbled into Clarice, almost knocking them both overboard. The engine is about to blow. Where's Tyson? Percy demanded. Still down there, the sailor answered. Holding it together somehow, though I don't know for how much longer. We have to abandon ship. The captain suggested. No. Clarice refused. We have no choice, milady. The hull is already cracking apart. She can't. He never finished his sentence. As quick as lightning, something brown and green shot from the sky snatched up the captain and lifted him away. All that was left were his leather boots. Scylla. A sailor yelled, like another column of reptilian flesh shot from the cliffs and snapped him up. It happened so fast that nobody was able to see its face. They were just able to make out a flash of teeth and scales. Percy brought out Riptide and tried to swipe at the monster as it carried off another deckhand, but it was too late. Everyone get below. Percy ordered. Idiot. Clarice yelled at the son of Poseidon. We've been through this already. She'll just pluck up the ship. Lifeboats. Annabeth suggested. Quick. They won't reach the cliffs. Clarice said. We'll get eaten. All around them Scylla's heads began plucking the other sailors off of the ship. Get to the boats. Percy said. I'll get Tyson. Idiot. The heat will kill you. Annabeth yelled. He didn't listen. He ran to the hatch. Before he could make it, one of the heads managed to pluck him off of the ground. Percy fought against the head, making him drop to the ship. The girls had boarded their lifeboats and had dropped down to the water. Just then, the ship exploded. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.